are very crucial. And so we've got Dominic Hart over in our YouTube chat checking in, letting us all know he's set for a good day on the track. Wants to have a fun race. We've got Aussie Racer saying no stream yet. Is everything okay? Indeed it is. We appear to be streaming. There appear to be 6 people watching us. I'm not really sure what's happening. Hopefully everybody's enjoying today's stream. Here we go. We are underway here at Atlanta. Graham Bunyan leads us here as they are already single file, but that should start to pick back up. David Strid second. And Jason Lowe in third. That's how they started. But they're going to start catching that draft, and very soon these cars will be making their moves. In the meantime, you don't want to crash. You don't want to do anything silly. And so as we watch here, Jason Lowe looking out the backside at Jimmy Drennan just behind. Drennan coming in low and then tries to stick directly behind Jason Lowe just in front. You want to kind of mitigate that arrow push. You see just up in front of Jason Lowe, that's David Strid pushing up a little bit in mid-corner and then bringing it back down on exit. Of course, Bunyan and Strid very skilled at handling the front end of a field. So these cars headed around this beautiful D-shaped oval facility. Once again, IndyCar in real life has not been back here in numerous years. There was an enormous incident that happened and was quite a big fiery explosion. I cannot remember if anybody was actually hurt in that incident, but it was so extreme, IndyCar choosing not to return. I think that's mostly just due to the speed. If we take a look at that speed there at the bottom of your screen, it's not that fast, 215 as you're going through the corner, but watch how fast it gets going into the corner, well over 220 miles per hour for these drivers. And so we watch on here as they make their way around. This now on lap number 6, and no change thus far for the top 7 positions. In order to find the first change, we got to jump back here to Rick Lovison, who's managed to move up now 2 spots on the day already in 8th place. Mike West gaining 3 spots just behind him. And then Will Stearns just behind him. Now, one of the things that we were talking about is that it is going to be quite warm today. As we talked about it, you couldn't call it Hotlanta without it actually being quite warm on the track. And certainly that is the situation. So we're going to be watching that track temperature today. It is 12:21 virtually on the track. And so it's 104 degrees. Now, if that track temp comes up to 110, 120, it will start to really degrade these Firestone Firehawks on these Dallara IR-18 IndyCars. And so that is one thing that we will really, really have to watch through the field, because a track like this, where you're so on edge, as we look back at Jason Lowe there, who himself is riding out a little bit high, but he's now managed to catch the backside of David Strid. There he is on, kind of going a little high there through mid-corner. Riding that outside line, really sticking to that outside line, and there goes Strid up to the high side there to protect that position. Lowe shifting, getting a run on the backstretch, tries the high side on Strid. Strid taking the middle of the road approach and doing a little blocking maneuver. So some games already being played between these drivers. So Manuel Gomez Esteban checking in, saying new scan is too narrow for Indy cars. Yes, we've heard this. I have not tested the track, so we'll be checking that out. The last thing that we need is more tracks that are too narrow, because that's kind of a situation at Darlington and places like that where certainly there are it's too narrow to make too many passes. So we'll look into that, and we'll see if we can talk to Atlanta about reconfiguring their track yet again to make it wider for our Indy cars. Okay, so here we go, lap 12, and I have to say the top 7 still as they started. We'll walk through the order for you. This is Graham Bunyan, the 101 car. He won the last race. We'll get a chance to talk about the points here, possibly, as we get to a yellow flag. But thus far, U.S. IndyCar League retaining its reputation as a very clean league with hopefully a lot of green flags and not yellow flag laps, because, well, we get to pay more bills if we have yellow flag laps, but at the same time, we do love this side-by-side and 220-mile-an-hour action on the track a lot more. So here's Jason Lowe. He's running in 3rd place, racing with Rescue Ranch. Jimmy Drennan there in 4th place. Like I said, as they started, this is exactly the same order. Dominic Hart. And now we've got our first side-by-side battle happening. This is Dan Ensch and Mauro Ramirez. Dan started in 6th, and Mauro started in 7th. That's where they're at. But right now, they are racing side-by-side for that 6th place. And this won't do either of these drivers really too much favor, as there you can see Mauro Ramirez getting by Ensch. And Mauro, MJ, as he is known, now part of the league administration, taking over some series stewarding responsibilities and more. And also just a quality dude, if I can just say. One of the nicest people I have had a chance to meet thus far in my iRacing experience, and always sharing information and chatting it up with me, and always letting me know what's going on with him and in the league, and very appreciated. Just part of this great group of drivers who come out every single Sunday. And so we take a look a little bit further back. This is Rick. We had Rick Lovison up there for a second. He's racing in 8th place, up 2 spots. Here's Mike West, fellow Washingtonian, trucking along here in Atlanta, back in 9th spot, but possibly saving some fuel, which is one of the strategies that will be at play here today. And we've got another possible pass going on here. This is Dominic Hart just behind in the white Porsche livery that has just caught Jimmy Drennan on track. The stylish looking paint job. Wouldn't we love to have the Volkswagen Group and Porsche in IndyCar in real life? I guess that's a possibility. Talking with Dominic last week, asking him if he had a Porsche. I think we'd all love a Porsche to fall off a truck one day and into our garage, but you know, Porsche, if you're listening, I am available. We can put your logo on screen, and I can drive your car and post it on Instagram. I promise you, you will maybe get a half a sale. But Dominic doing his job out there today and trying to track down Jimmy Drennan for that 4th spot, possibly a podium position. And that's really what this is all about right now. And just to clarify, now we're going to get into some of the fuel strategy. This is Dan Ensch sharing his information with me. Actually, now I'll put Dan on the screen. Dan letting us know 34 to 38 laps we are looking at this fuel window. Now, I should say, Season 15 official race winner, Dan Ensch. And for those of you who missed it a couple of races ago, that was some excitement. Here comes Rick Lovison, though, making his pass down to the low side on Dan Ensch. So Ensch probably on a fuel-saving strat. Now, he did let us know that tire degradation is a factor you're going to lose 0.7 of a second, possibly more if you're in traffic. So the pit exit on apron is actually faster, but if you touch the flat with the left front, you're going to be dead. Safer, but slower on the flat. Pit entry, also a problem, especially in traffic. Dan is not a big fan of this track. He doesn't love Atlanta. So, you know, we all kind of have our familiarities and the tracks that we want to race on, the types of tracks we want to race on, the ones that we excel at and suit our talents the best. But, you know, you suit up for them all. You got to go out there. It doesn't matter. This is the 5th race of the season, and you got to do what needs to be done on track. And once again, you never know when it's going to be your day. I mean, Graham is out there in solid command of this race, up over a second now over his teammate, David Strid, and he's over 2 seconds up on Jason Lowe back there. So just slowly clipping it off. See if we can get there. You can see how that gap is it's just incrementally working out between him and Strid over the course of the laps. And so again, just back to it, really just talking about how this plays out for the most part. In this early stint, more than anything, you're just checking out the car. You're trying to get some sort of an idea of how that car is going to handle through the course of the whole race. And you don't want to do anything silly that might possibly cause, as we see Rick Lovison and Dan Ensch now battling on track. Sold out crowd here in Atlanta. We do appreciate close to 100,000 people, virtual people coming out for this race and paying for the tickets. That's has zero effect on paying for today's broadcast. So none of those tickets sold go to pay for today's broadcast. If you would like to help participate in today's broadcast or any of these broadcasts, we are looking for business inquiries that would like to join up with the U.S. IndyCar League. So if you've got a business or if you'd like to sponsor a nonprofit and like to see their name in the race title and for us to talk about that race sponsor, just head on over to U.S. IndyCar League on iRacing, message Jason Lowe, or click down in the description. You'll see a link that you can, or the email for VirtualRacing.Network. We'll make sure you get that info straight over to him. And Lowe will be glad to take a look at that and talk with you about it. Of course, Stick Quick, the proud presenting sponsor of the U.S. IndyCar League. And we'll get a chance to talk about their awesome product here very shortly. But if you'd like to be featured, we'd love to have you. And similarly, if you'd like to make a donation just for the broadcast, feel free to talk with Jason Lowe or myself, whether you'd like to do that anonymously or not. Anything can go to help offset the costs. And of course, we do thank the generosity of some of the contributors, Stick Quick being one of the major ones, but also Howard Livingston and the Care Camps organization, whom we love to talk about. And there is Graham Bunyan bringing it into pit lane for an early stop, lap 32. He was out there leading and Strid right there on his flank. So he was out. They were leading. They must have communicated that they would come in together. Now that is going to leave Jason Lowe and Jimmy Drennan, Dominic Hart, your top three, continuing to circulate. Now, this is a clever strategy. Let's take a look here real quick, if we can, at their lap time history. Now look at how the times are right now. 25.640, that last lap for David Strid. And the fastest lap thus far turned, I believe overall, Yes, overall, Jason Lowe, as you see Strid exiting the pits there on the backstretch, I think he got a little bit of wheel spin. He's quite separated from Graham Bunyan. He's 4 seconds back from Graham now. So that is going to really mess that up. But we were looking, of course, at the details there of Strid's times. And so now we're going to watch this. So the last lap before Bunyan came in, 25.509. What can he do? As we are under caution, we've got Jimmy Drennan, and multiple cars involved now. I believe that's Jason Lowe. Cars coming to a stop here on the front straightaway. We've got Dan Ensch, who's just emerged from the pits. My goodness, Mike West now currently in the lead. We will, of course, back this up and get a look. Jimmy Drennan and Dominic Hart also involved. My goodness, I see that Jason Lowe, it does appear, is involved. We're going to back this one up and take a look. Now, this is Jimmy Drennan. And Drennan gets plowed into by Hart. I think Hart just was not expecting him. Let's go back and take one more look here. So this will be from on board Drennan's point of view. And I'm sure we're just going to see him slow down. And there Hart he just doesn't know that Drennan is slowing down. And unfortunate for the two to make contact like that. Now, let's go ahead and take one more look. We're just going to look at it from Hart's point of view and see if we can tell anything. Let's back it up just a little bit further so we can tell. Now, imagine that you're Hart here. It's going to be time to come into the pits. I think Hart decides he's going to stay out another one. There's Jimmy Drennan right in front. Now, how quickly does he slow? He slows right on that racing line very quickly, and I don't know, Hart could have been adjusting a setting. He could have been looking elsewhere and, or just maybe thought that Drennan would stay maybe a little bit low on the track, and unfortunately, no good. So we come back to the live picture here, and as we talked about, it's a perfect opportunity for us to go ahead and take a look at we'll take a look at the best thing in the entire planet. Well, I mean, almost. It's the Stick Quick. Yes. It is, in fact, the Stick Quick. You were wondering how much we would get a chance to talk about it today, but because it's a yellow flag, we have ample time now. So, as Mauro Ramirez now takes his pit stop, and Mike West does as well, that will give Rick Lovison the lead. But you see this car right on camera right now. That's Richard Kelbaugh. He races for Team Stick Quick. Now, Stick Quick, proud presenting sponsor of the U.S. IndyCar League. But what does it do? What is a Stick Quick, you might ask? Well, now's the time you are going to find out something that will revolutionize your life. As you can see, these silicone, ultra heavy-duty, chemical resistant, UV resistant rings. Now these little rings here, you see, you can slip them around your vape. You can slip them around markers, pens, pencils, anything you need to keep handy. If you're like an engineer or a teacher or something, you want to keep all this stuff ready to go. There against your shelf. Hey, you want to keep your flashlight right there, right next to what you want to work on and see, or ready if you have your power go out at your house or something. Just stick it onto something metal. How about all of this for your vape accessories? Hey, anything you can think of in your toolbox, in your medicine cabinet, in your kitchen, in your shed, at your work, at school. I mean, let your mind run with it. These things are so cool. Put them around your screwdrivers. Put them around anything semi-round. 6 come in a package. 6 different colors to choose from, so you can definitely get the exact one that you want for your world and whatever color you live in. I hope you don't live in black all the time, but hey, black's cool too. So, it also looks cool, so it's got that going for it. Yellow, red, green, blue, whatever you like, there it is. There's the packages on your screen. Head over to stickquick.com now. Of course, you can see more use cases, testimonials, etc. And as these cars get ready to go, Rick Lovison actually still shown in the lead. The lights are off on the pace car. The lights are turned on for the organization of Stick Quick in your life. Head over to Stick Quick right now. Well, maybe not right this second. Maybe right after the race. And pick up a package or maybe 10 today. Seriously, very affordable. Make great gifts. We're past Father's Day, but it's a great time to gear up for any birthdays or any other celebrations. So, here we are back live, and it is Rick Lovison up 9 positions. I believe he made that pit stop. He did. He made that pit stop on lap 36, so by nature of that, Rick inheriting the lead due to the undercut strategy, and that was what I was going to talk about. There are ways that that undercut strategy can work in your favor, and Rick has pulled it off to a masterful decision by him and pulled it off extensively. So Rick now up in the lead. For how long, we will find out. But on lap 41, it is Rick Lovison in your lead. There's Jason Lowe. He just hung the fastest sector one time. You see him there in the draft of Rick Lovison. Is he going to try to go by on the high side? He took a look, but he couldn't make it. In the meantime, we've got David Strid back into the pits. So unfortunately for Strid, perhaps having and Will Stearns also into the pits. So Strid possibly having a penalty and having to address that. And sorry about that. Momentarily it showed that we were under caution, but we are not. But Strid having to make that pit stop, very costly, just now emerging from the pits. Looking back at the lead, it is Rick Lovison who continues to lead, keeping Jason Lowe on the high side and keeping him at bay for the moment. So Lovison collecting that bonus point, and we'll show those points here just a moment. Promise we'll get to that before the end of this race so we can catch you up, but not having too many opportunities because not too many yellow flags thus far. And Jason Lowe does the old switch over, makes the move down to the low side on Rick Lovison. Lovison decides he's going to tuck in behind, give up that lead to Jason Lowe, the Floridian, who races with that mirror chrome finish. Pretty much the exact opposite of the absolutely beautiful 4-color paint job. I mean, when you can see it in the right sunlight, it looks like you're sitting at the Berkshire Lakeside Lodge there, which is where Rick Lovison operates quite frequently. Beautiful spot. Another place you can definitely pull up on the internet and check it out. Maybe go visit it. Meanwhile, look at this guy coming up out of nowhere. Last week's winner, 4-time consecutive champion, Graham Bunyan, out of Brisbane, flies around Rick Lovison. And of course, this week's pole sitter, I should also mention, he was in the lead, but came in early and I thought was going to stick around for that undercut, but somehow he got shuffled back. And so now he's having to fight back. Got very close to the wall there on entry. Bunyan now trying to work the backside of Jason Lowe. And by the way, I have no idea what iRacing did in their latest update, but the graphics are looking a lot better to me today. Not really sure, but they look cleaner and clearer and crisper. And there's a certain, iRacing making a lot of updates, but here it is, Graham Bunyan and Jason Lowe battling for the lead on now lap 50. Lowe, the current points champion, or the points leader at the moment. Graham Bunyan, your defending champion. Racing side by side. Lowe choosing to take the high side. Bunyan on that low side. And Lowe, I'm going to say, is he going to try to get the slingshot again? I don't think so. Lowe's going to be satisfied with that. Or will he? He drafts up on the back of Graham Bunyan. Tries to make it an issue yet again. So your top 5, Bunyan, Lowe, Lovison, West, and Mardones here on lap 51. Iñigo Mardones, one of those drivers that we hadn't been talking about this race, but we mentioned him at the top of the broadcast starting from the back. And he and fellow countryman Manuel Gomez-Esteban have been having some really fantastic runs here as of late. You see him up there in the top 5. That is no mistake. Of course, racing for a team like iRacing team, great team out of España. And they've had a lot of great success over the past. One of the drivers that was so fun to watch as we covered the Indy Fix series here a few seasons ago, Pablo Diaz-Francis, he's a little controversial, that's for sure, but I have to say he's one of the fastest guys out there, and Iñigo Mardones, it's amazing how his progress has improved over the last couple of seasons. Here today, up 9 positions, and looking pretty solid for a potential top 5. So as it settles in, he's looking at the backside of Mike West. Mike West has been having some great races as well, but similarly has not quite been able to capitalize on that and get those top 5s. Sometimes it's just those little mistakes that take him out. And that's what we watch for today. Is Mike West going to be able to... And sometimes it's not even his fault. He's been taken out of a couple of races. Just the nature of iRacing and, racing in close quarters. But West comes out every week and continues to improve, as many of these drivers do. All of them really chasing that benchmark of Graham Bunyan and David Strid. Mauro Ramirez, MJ here, shown in 6th place. He's up a spot today, and we take a look back in front. Iñigo Mardones now looking for that position from Mike West. This is our closest battle at the moment. We jump back on board. This is more what it looks like from on board. You can just pass the visor there. Some of this bumpy track here at Atlanta. Sailing that car into the corner, taking the high line, avoiding that arrow push. Gets a little close there on exit sometimes, especially when you take that high line. You got to really watch that the car does not want to walk around on you. But Mardones here displaying some good car control, and as we're settling into our second stint, doesn't look like he's going to try to make the pass. Now, this may be strategic for Mardones. He may or may not want to make that pass, just depending on what he wants to do with the fuel and how he wants to conserve the tires over the course of this stint. So, taking a look over into our YouTube chat room. Once again, thank you so much, everybody joining us today. We had 6 people watching at the moment, and that is great for, it's 7:38 in the morning out here on the West Coast. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, and of course, Formula 1 going on. We've got real-life IndyCar, but who needs that? We got side-by-side between our own international superstars right here. It's Iñigo Mardones of Barcelona, Spain, racing for iRacing team, right next to Mike West of Yakima, Washington. Doesn't get more across the globe than that. And at the same time, just up in front, it's Rick Lovison racing his hometown, Chicago, Illinois, but also out of Massachusetts. And just in front, we've got a Floridian. That's Jason Lowe, who's in second place, and an Australian, Graham Bunyan. So quite the international mix of drivers here, and an all-star group of IndyCar drivers for certain. Again, back over in the YouTube chat, Fahim Rahman letting us know, hey, good morning. Unfortunately, he had a bad qualifying session and then ended up getting kicked out of the race for some reason, and that's no good. I think probably a technical issue. Will Stearns, unfortunately, 56-second penalty for passing on the inside. I'm guessing that passing on the inside, I'm guessing that is for passing on the inside, coming to the green flag. He'll have to let us know. That is a real bummer, though. And is Stearns still out there? No, he is not. Rahman and Drennan now out of this race. The last car still running is Dominic Hart, who had that unfortunate incident getting into the back of Jimmy Drennan. Hart was running in the top 5 at the time and now shown 2 laps down. He and Strid having a moment where he needed to come back onto pit road, we assume to serve some sort of penalty. And so that has now made him a lap down. But the good news is for Strid, and for any of you that are David Strid fans out there, as we now cross over halfway here at the track. But the great news is for Strid fans that should we have another yellow flag, he likely will be able to get that lap back. And, of course, we hope for that yellow flag so that we can get some of those points and other information up there on the screen for you before too long, before it becomes irrelevant and we move on to another race. Okay, so we've got some more action. Here's Manuel Gomez-Esteban. Have not been showing him, but look at this awesome new paint job. Great work being done over there by Team Mazinger. Manuel Gomez-Esteban. Beautiful stuff. Super Mango on that car, and not fully seeing the Super Mango sponsorship on there, so I'm not sure if that is still the lead sponsor. But we'll get more info on that as the season goes on. Either way, OCOR currently on there right now, and Mazinger on that side pod. But this race going on right now, and now Graham Bunyan, your leader, into the pits. He slams on the brakes just as he gets to that commitment cone, that timing stripe there, and that may be a penalty for him. Dan Ensch into the pits, David Strid into the pits. So 3 contenders for today's race right now serving in the pits as we do hit that magic mark where drivers are going to want to be coming in. And in addition, they may be calculating, if this race stays green, exactly how many laps they need to go. MJ Ramirez now into the pits. He looks much more calm and comfortable. Rick Kelbaugh in, and they both seem like they handled this pit entry nicely. Yeah, there's just some... I don't know what iRacing did, but like the cameras are working better. Everything is more smooth and fluid. They did some under the hood work here that I am noticing since Tuesday. It's definitely making VirtualRacing.Network's impressive studio mega computer that runs all of this broadcasting. It's definitely looking good. I have to say, it's all moving much smoother. Jason Lowe, Rick Lovison, and Mike West, your top 3. Manuel Gomez-Esteban in 4th, and Iñigo Mardones now in that 666 Necky Racing team. Dallara IR-18. Here comes Gomez-Esteban as well. Very conservative on entry, and, you know, I mean, honestly, that's not a bad way to to go. There's... you know, as we see our leaders now coming in, we've got Lowe, Lovison, and Gomez-Esteban into the pits. This now on board with Mike West. He continues around here. He's just got that one pit stop to his name. Last time in on lap 37. So continuing to circulate. We'll get some more information up there momentarily. So West now pulls it in. It's technically keeping Jason Lowe in the lead. So this is going to be something interesting. Will Jason Lowe stay in the lead? No, Graham Bunyan has just gone sailing by. There he is up the track. It's now 2 seconds, 3 seconds. As Lowe slowly getting up to speed. Now we saw another car go flying by there. That is not for position. West still shown in second place. He pitted from the lead. Will he emerge? No, he has not. He's still in the pits. So Lowe now takes over that spot. West just comes out of the pits. He's now shown in third. Possibly Lovison will move up into that third spot. See if we can tell. Nope, Mardones and Lovison go flying by. There is the battle. This now your battle for third spot on the track. Iñigo Mardones and Rick Lovison battling for third place. So I was saying just a moment ago when we were talking about making pit entries and, you know, whether you want to be conservative or not conservative on pit entry. And, you know, if you're a little bit more conservative at a track like this, I think that's going to be just helpful to keeping, you know, yourself in the race. If you start pushing too much on pit entry, you can do silly things like go past the pit entry. And I mean, literally that could cost you 2 full laps because you miss pit entry and have to get back up to speed, or you make an illegal pit entry by spinning or something like that coming into the pits, or you exceed the speed limit coming into the pits. Any one of these things could absolutely just kind of immediately take you out of the whole race. So it is definitely a great idea to be conservative. But that being said, let's take a look. I'm going to take the track map off, and now let's take a look here at the pit lane time. And I have to give myself a little bit of a larger window to look at here, but let's look at how this works. Now you can see right there on your screen as we're watching Rick Lovison and Iñigo Mardones kind of battle it out there for that third spot on the track, and over 5 seconds ahead is Jason Lowe. But if you look on your screen at that pit lane time, you'll see that Graham Bunyan, 36.9 seconds. Compare that to Rick Lovison, 38.2. Mike West, 38.0. MJ Ramirez, 38.6. Rick Kelbaugh, 39.1. And we watched Manuel Gomez Esteban, kind of a conservative entry. Well, 38.3. Now, that it's possible there could be an extra second or two of some sort of incidental repair in there. We don't know. Usually it takes more like 5 seconds or 10 seconds to get that kind of stuff fixed. But the point being that if you go too conservative, it can be a real problem. Because when you are conservative, you give up time on entry, you give up time possibly on the exit as you're leaving the pits. And so every 1/10 of a second counts. Now, if you're looking at the difference between Graham Bunyan and Jason Lowe, you know, it's 4 point some seconds, now 5 seconds on the track. And if the difference in pit lane over the course of 2 or 3 stops is a full second between them, or say 2 seconds, that's your whole gap right there. So if Jason Lowe pits, and we now have Gomez Esteban having an incident, possibly, yes, we can see the damaged machine does not appear to be going to bring out a caution. I'm not sure if him being that low on the track on the apron would bring it out, but I think since he's rolling and not stopped, that's going to not bring it out. So take a look at that replay here. That's a little bit too far. See if we can back it up just a little bit. Coming through turn 4. And very, very low in that exit. And, wow, the car kind of spinning out and just heading to the inside wall there. So, not really sure what to attribute that to, but he was very low on exit at that time. And there he is sitting on pit road, kind of crossways in his pit stall. So, unfortunately for Gomez Esteban, he's still shown 2 spots up of where he qualified, but now dropping back in the order as he'll need to get that car completely repaired. So just to recap, we are now working lap 86 of 124. You're watching live on VirtualRacing.Network, our ongoing coverage of Season 15 of the U.S. IndyCar League. This is race number 5 thus far this season. 4 different winners in 4 different races. But right now, Graham Bunyan is out in front and in control. He's led most of the laps here today, but not all of them. An early caution kind of changed some of the strategy, and Graham had to fight his way back through the field a little bit. But Jason Lowe running a tough second place. He's up a spot today. Rick Lovison, unfortunately, he was running in third, but now having technical difficulty. Oh, he is still on the track, and he is blinking out on and off. So unfortunately, he's having some internet issues and still shown in third, but if those continue, he will likely get bounced out and be disconnected. So we hope that that can resolve itself, but he's currently running in third and up 7 spots. So having a heck of a day. Rick's had a couple of good finishes in the recent races, so this would be a great chance for him to capitalize on having a great day so far and having a great run. Here's Iñigo Mardones here in 4th spot, up 10 spots as we've talked about, and Mike West hanging on in that 5th spot, up 7 positions. Now Dan Ensch had drifted back a little bit earlier on, but now Dan running in 6th place. That's where he qualified. You see MJ Ramirez just behind. That's also where he qualified in 7th place. So we'll watch to see whether Dan can make any more inroads. But either way, this, Dan is possibly going to go down as the driver that ends up with a top place in the championship by getting the most top 5s, because he has been consistent all season this season with getting up there, getting a race win, and definitely fighting for that top 5 so he can stay right up there in the championship. So once again, you are now currently watching VirtualRacing.Network and the U.S. IndyCar League. I'm Trevor Greenfield. Been calling this race all race long and multiple seasons, so if you want to send any hate mail, there's nobody else to fill in. It's just me. But that being said, if you are watching and you're thinking that if you've been out there and you want to join these drivers on the track, we'd love to have you. We'd love to be able to showcase you here on the broadcast. It's actually a free entry to the U.S. IndyCar League, but we are looking for quality competitors who have shown that they can race IndyCar. So if you're over on iRacing and you put in some races in an IndyCar, or if you've been racing maybe NASCAR, you want to get into IndyCar, hey, head down into the description and you will see a link to go right over to the member page and go ahead and sign up, and you'll get a chance to talk with Jason Lowe, probably get out there for a Saturday practice session and get a chance to meet the admin group and get a feel for what the racing is like here in the league. We'd love to have you, and it's never too late to join. Great chance to get in for this season, get in some practice, and maybe get geared up for season 16. But also, if you're out there and you'd like to try your hand at co-commentating here at VirtualRacing.Network, we are open to that. So feel free to send us a message as well and let us know if you've done any. Here's Jason Lowe, though. He's heading into the pits. This will be his third stop on the day. So as you can see by the laps, this will set him up. This will be the last time that he needs to stop. So Jason Lowe kind of pulling the undercut strategy on Graham Bunyan and David Strid. This could really work to his advantage. Let's try to watch the lap times. And we can see that Lowe there, as Lowe comes out, can do something a little fun. Once he emerges onto the track, we'll keep track of his lap times comparative to our leader, Graham Bunyan, and see exactly what that difference is. But currently, Lowe now slipping back into 9th place. And Graham, Rick Lovison, Iñigo Mardones, your top 3, Mike West and Dan Ensch, rounding out that top 5. So here he is getting back up to speed. 3-time consecutive champ and front runner, current points leader here in season 15, trying to take that title away from Graham Bunyan. He gets back up to speed, now looking at the backside of Mike West, who is a lap up. Jason Lowe unlapping himself. So before Lowe came in, 25.587. That time, 25.228, and he's just getting up to speed. Now, let's see if I can do this comparison correctly. So now we can directly compare Jason Lowe and Graham Bunyan's lap times there at the bottom of the screen. So the last time on lap 98, sorry, let's move over here. Yes, let's look at lap number 95. Half a second quicker, over half a second quicker. And now you see Graham Bunyan has no choice but to cover that. He's got to come in right now. And we'll see also Rick Lovison as well. That time difference, too great. Graham Bunyan knows if he were to stick it out another couple of laps, if he could, and he had the fuel to do so, it would be to his peril, as Jason Lowe would be able to easily regain the time that he needs to eclipse Graham Bunyan and take that lead back. So green flag strategy playing out here with just 25 laps to go. Iñigo Mardones now pitting. And Mike West also into the pits. Dan Ensch heads in as well. David Strid now also into the pits. All these drivers having to respond as we have finally, at the end of this green flag session, green flag stint, finally gotten to the point where these drivers can make their final stop of the day. MJ Ramirez, though, getting those bonus points for leading a lap. Super important, as we'll see just in a moment. We don't want to miss anything here on the track. Rick Kelbaugh was up into second, now making that final stop. So he actually having a pretty good day today for Team Stick Quick. So Team Stick Quick sticking around here today and possibly going to get a top 5 out of it. Morrow, though, having a heck of a day and currently leading. But he will need to make that final stop, and I believe he is going to probably do that on this lap. In the meantime, you're looking at Graham Bunyan, who did lose some time, down under 5-second gap back to Jason Lowe, just behind, as we see now Mauro Ramirez heading into the pits. There he is. Looks like he gets it down in time. Here comes Graham Bunyan. It's going to come by, start, finish. And there he goes right by Mauro Ramirez and back out into the lead. Very quickly starting to open up that lead once again on Jason Lowe. Well, I say that, but now it's dipped back down, so we'll keep watching to see. And so I guess it's finally time that we can get these points up here just for a moment. We'll try to avoid blocking the screen for too long. It is Jason Lowe who leads the points, 157 to 129 for Dan Ensch. Still so much of the season to go. Graham Bunyan jumping up 2 spots with that win last week. 11 bonus points also, so that is a huge factor. And he continues to pile on the bonus points for taking pole position, as well as leading a lap and probably leading the most laps, I assume. In fact, there's no doubt he's led most of the laps here today, so he'll pick up more bonus points even. But only 3 points out of second from Dan Ensch. Ensch sliding up a spot into that second spot there. Mike West finding himself in 4th spot for the second straight week. And Ryan Bowles, unfortunately, not able to get out here in the races. And so, unfortunately, is going to keep sliding back in the points. There are a couple of other drivers really jumping up, though. Iñigo Mardones up 3 spots. And Jimmy Drennan, with a great race last week, jumping up there as well. So today's race, of course, will heavily affect these points. And we'll look forward to getting back to that next week, trying to track who is where in this championship for you. So just to recap here, we've got 16 laps remaining here for race number 5 of season 15. Graham Bunyan leads it with Jason Lowe in second. 6 seconds now separating these drivers, and Rick Lovison now 9 seconds adrift. So this gap really opening up here in this final stint now that the cars are really starting to settle in. And is it a surprise that we're seeing Iñigo Mardones and Rick Lovison up 7 and 10 spots? Mike West up 7 spots. These drivers, this is not luck at this point. This is starting to show these drivers who have the ability to hang on to these cars and make the adjustments that they need to. And now Mardones, just as I say that, commentators curse strikes, and Mardones brings out our second caution on the day. That is brutal. We had just talked about Mardones coming in and Mardones having such a fantastic run here today. Let's take a look one more time here, and this was well after he crashed, so we're going to back it up on your screen. See if we can figure out what happened. It's coming into the corner. He's in mid-corner, starting to exit, and it just comes around. Kind of like Manuel Gomez Esteban not long ago, but definitely that's an example where perhaps the weight jacker was turned up a little bit too high. Whatever it was, cooked that right rear, or a little bit of the aero push from the car in front sent that machine right around and destroyed a beautiful livery. Now, here's something interesting. Graham Bunyan has decided to sacrifice his position on the track. This is some amazing stuff, folks. We've got to pay attention to this, because Graham Bunyan is choosing to take brand new tires. He knows how much faster brand new Firestone Firehawks are, and he does not want to be left vulnerable at the end of this race. Now, Wes coming in behind to take tires. Ensch is going to stay out and try to get that lap back, and in fact, he will get... Was he a lap down? No, he's not a lap down. He's shown on the lead lap. Guess I'm trying to figure out why Lowe is shown behind West. I'm sorry, behind... Why Lowe is in position behind West, or Ensch, excuse me. Keep repeating the same wrong information. But I guess it'll all sort itself out here momentarily. Oh my goodness. Well, it's been an interesting race thus far. And it's about to get a lot more interesting here, as we're just about to settle into a 10-lap shootout for this race win. And we've got a split strategy. Rick Lovison and Jason Lowe at the front of this one, choosing not to come in and take tires. But Graham Bunyan, on the other hand, coming in on this last lap to choose to take tires. So this shows you that it's actually been since lap 95 that Lowe and Lovison, Lovison coming in on lap 100. And as I said, this is going to make it very challenging for Lowe and Lovison to hang on to this position with Bunyan getting those fresh tires. But that's why we go out there and race, right? Perhaps Lowe knows some strategies that he can employ to keep Bunyan from getting around him, and perhaps Bunyan knows some strategies he can employ to try to pass three-time champion Jason Lowe. Will Rick Lovison have anything to say about it? How about Mike West? How about Dan Ensch? Dan Ensch stopping on lap 101. So, doesn't have the newest tires, but we wait to find out whose race this will be. So I hope you are ready, because the lights are off on safety car. Just one more backstretch and a corner to go, and we will get to see who can win a shootout here in Atlanta. And Graham Bunyan checking in over on YouTube saying, I don't think Jason realizes the lap cars will drop back and the old tires are going to kill him. So, you know, Bunyan, on top of everything else, checking in here on the broadcast to keep us informed with what the strategy is that's playing out in front. We're going to get 9 to go this time by. I hope you're ready for some fun and high-flying excitement as Jason Lowe steps on that loud pedal and makes it go one more time. He's got Rick Lovison all over him, and Lovison into the back of Lowe. Clips off his front wing. That will damage Lovison's car, and he slips to third position. I don't know whether that's going to make it impossible for him to get through the corner. He drifts very high. He's going to have damage, and that allows Graham Bunyan to put Lowe right in his sights. So with 8 laps to go, the battle is on the track as you see it. Here's Bunyan trying the high side. Lowe tries to shuffle up a little bit, force Bunyan even higher. Nothing can be done. Looking out the left side of Bunyan's car. He sticks on that high side. Lowe on the low side. Side by side for first place with 8 laps to go here in Atlanta. Bunyan stays on that high side. He tries to keep it in there. Mike West now coming into this picture as these two race side by side for the lead. Side by side down the backstretch, but Bunyan pulls into the lead, and Lowe has nothing he can do about it as those tires start to show their age on the 101 machine. I'm sorry, on the 004 machine. And the 101 machine with its brand new tires put Graham Bunyan back in control of this race. There goes Mike West. Looking to the low side on Jason Lowe, and he moves into second place. So the 101 and 102 now nose to tail. This could be a fantastic result for West, who's already up in those points and looking to get even more spots. He's having one of the best seasons in the U.S. IndyCar League that he has had since we've started covering him, and currently holding on to second place. Fellow Washingtonian looking to, and I say fellow, he's, we're operating VirtualRacing.Network out of the great state of Washington. So always fun to see a driver who hails from here. But just behind, it's Jason Lowe, who's having to deal with a very aggressive David Strid, who is unlapping himself, but he'll have to go through 2 more cars to get that lap fully back. Probably won't be able to by the end of this one. Just 3 remaining, 2 at the line. Graham Bunyan going to be working his way here. Just 2 to go. No immediate threats for Bunyan at all. Lowe having to deal with Strid, but not losing that position. Also, Dominic Hart just behind. That is not for position, but this battle is happening for position. This is Ensch and Hart. I'm sorry, Ensch and Ramirez. Ramirez ducks back, and here comes Graham Bunyan under Barney, the flagged man, just one more time around here in Atlanta. Can he hold on? Will Ensch be able to hold on to that position? It looks like he will. Mike West holding on here to second. West up 10 spots, but the man of the day, Graham Bunyan, taking second win in a row, and the second win in season 15. Your winner here for race number 5 of 12 in the U.S. IndyCar League. So Bunyan brings it around in style, winning here in the U.S. IndyCar League. Second time, as I mentioned, this season, and he'll pull it up onto the start-finish straight and attempt to do some donuts. And we're going to be looking for some of these drivers to join us here in post-race interviews momentarily. And the celebrations begin, as we've become very accustomed to seeing here. Now with Mike West joining in those celebrations, Dan Ensch ending up in 4th spot. So a great win, a great finish for him. Once again, continuing that top 5 march of his. And we'll be able to get the final results here up on the screen for you momentarily. So these drivers complete today's race. Once again, presented by Stick Quick. Graham Bunyan taking your win. Mike West, his teammate, taking second and continuing his march up the points. This is going to do wonders for Graham Bunyan as well. Possibly able, well, with Jason Lowe finishing 3rd, he's not going to get a chance to take over that points lead. But taking all those bonus points, and also he should get a bonus point for Alex Zanardi-esque donuts that he's able to do there. But West taking second, and Jason Lowe hanging on to get 3rd. Lowe looked competitive all race long today. We'll get a chance to talk with him as well. Mauro Ramirez and, Dan Ensch ending up in 4th for Last Lap Motorsports, ALZ.org. Mauro Ramirez, MJ, top winner, or top finisher there for Black Tiger Racing. Fahim Rahman, not able to get into the race very much today. So, as I mentioned, we will get a chance to chat with some of our drivers. For those of the drivers who are not used to the new Discord channel, the voice room is now at the bottom. It's under live broadcast. You'll see broadcasting room or waiting room. Either way, I can drag you in, and so we'll look forward to seeing them over there. Of course, we just got a brand new Discord for those of you who are into that sort of thing. We can definitely get you hooked up. So if you're part of the group, feel free to send us a message over on iRacing, and we'll get you into Discord. You can chat with everybody. And so we will wait here for just a moment and see if we can get some post-race interviews set up for you. I see that Graham Bunyan is making his way into the interview corral. And so we're going to see who we can grab here. So we've got Jason Lowe who has just jumped into the post-race interview corral. And so we'll get a chance to chat with him just fresh off of third place on the track. Hey, Jason, can you hear me? Congratulations, bud. Third place today. Looked like you were going to have more, but you hung on and managed to get a top 3 podium finish. How does it feel?
You got me, Trevor?
I got you.
Yeah, made a mistake and stayed out when I should have got tires there at the end. And then I was, at the restart, I was flexing my right shoulder trying to get some feeling back in it. And I didn't get my hand back on the wheel, and I missed a shift, and I screwed Rick Lovison up once again. I feel terrible about that. I certainly was not a strategy move. I missed a shift. I mean, it's pretty hard with paddle shifters to miss a shift, and I managed to do it. So I'm sorry to Rick. Graham was the class of the field all day. I was a second or third place car on old tires. Mike West was faster than me, and hats off to him for a second place. Congratulations to Graham. And Atlanta's always tough. There's no real groove at this place. You can run a lot of different lines, but none of them feel good. And I don't know. Happy with every race this year has been a top 5. But I think I could have done at least one position better today. And I know, congrats to Graham, congrats to Mike, and sorry to Rick again.
Well, let's talk about that. First of all, did you feel like you had anything for Graham Bunyan today, or was he just kind of in a class of his own? Because that's certainly what it looked like for broadcast. Almost nobody could match his pace today. And then secondly, tell us about that restart. You did miss a shift, but isn't it kind of everybody needs to look out for that leader as well and, try to make avoiding moves no matter where you are in the pack? You got to keep your head on a swivel and always be aware of what's happening in front. We saw another driver, Dominic Hart, unfortunately slam into another driver coming into the pits, and they had an issue today. You just got to stay aware of what's going on, even if it's somebody you trust up in front, right?
Yeah, but you don't expect the leader to stop in front of you either. So like I said, there was certainly no malice on my part, but I feel like an idiot. I didn't get my hand back on the wheel in the right place. That was your second question. Your first question, no. Graham is a master at places where there is a compromise between the shortest line around and momentum. And he just has this natural knack where he finds the line with the momentum that doesn't wear the tires out. It doesn't matter if he's in first or behind another car. He's just that good. And it's a skill, and he's got it. And we all can try to emulate it, but I don't know anyone who has that gift like he has in iRacing, just to find that momentum line. So hats off to him.
Absolutely. And he seems to do it every single week, as you know. And we talked about last week, he's just one of those guys who he can just show up and sit in that cockpit for about 10 minutes, get a feel for the car, and then just be able to go out there and do what he does. One of the cream of the crop here in the U.S. IndyCar League. Always great to have an all-star like him. And obviously, Jason, you leading the points coming in, being able to, even if you're not the fastest guy today, being able to get that third place, get a point for leading a lap, and be able to stay in that points leading position here in the championship. I mean, we're marching through this championship. You're still up there in contention. What do you think about the rest of this season?
Well, I think today it was unfortunate for me that I took third rather than second. That's going to tighten things quite a bit up between Graham and I. And I mean, we know he's the man. So it's going to be, I'm going to need some fortunate things for the rest of the season. He may need to have some unfortunate luck for me to have a shot. But I'm going to show up every week and give it what I got. And had a lot of fun racing with the guys today. Always do. Thank you to Stick Quick. And thank you, Trevor, for putting the broadcast on for us.
Absolutely. My pleasure as always, Jason. And of course, Jason, looking forward to the rest of the season. Congratulations. Third place today. I know it's not what you wanted, but good luck.
Thanks, Trevor. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Absolutely. So there it is. Jason Lowe coming in third. He wanted second. Just tells you how competitive he is. And of course, yes, happy 4th to all of us in the United States who are celebrating it. You see how close that is there in that replay. Boy, Graham Bunyan sure got close. So let's talk now to our, let's have just 1 second to talk with Dan Ensch since he's here. Let's talk with him for a second. Hey, Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, tell us, give us a little rundown on how it went today for the ALZ.org machine.
A lot better than I thought it would, I'll tell you that. I do not like this track. No way, shape, or form. I knew fuel savings wasn't going to be a factor today, so I was just going for it as much as I could. Tried to keep my weight jacker on the tight side to make sure I didn't loop it coming off of turn 3, which was a big problem in practice for me. It tended to over-rotate coming out of 3 if I didn't watch that weight jacker. So I just kind of took it easy, and later on I ran short shifts just to get a little bit extra speed, and it all worked out for me. This is the first totally, fully non-fuel saving race I've run, and it worked out pretty good.
Well, adapting that strategy, as we've talked about so many times, that the fuel save strat doesn't necessarily always work out in your favor, and sometimes you got to go fast. Sometimes you can do that fuel strat and win the race like you did a little while ago. But either way, always getting that end ALZ message out there. We do appreciate it, and racing hard for Last Lap Motorsports. In second place in the points, and finishing in 4th. I mean, it's another championship day. So, congratulations and good luck with the rest of the season, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Always happy to put that Alice.org on TV. And hey, by the way, I want to say great racing with Morrow today. We battled all day long, nose to tail, and had a great time, and that was so much fun with him. And Mike West is your future animal. I don't know what gotten into that boy, but I'm getting tired of it.
Well, we're going to talk to him next, and we'll find out what's going on. What did he eat? His Cheerios or his Frosted Flakes or his Wheaties this morning? Let's find out. Either way, good luck with the rest of the season, Dan.
Thank you, Trevor.
So that's Dan Ensch, 4th place today, always raising awareness. Along with Howard Livingston for great causes. Many of these drivers raising great awareness, and Howard Livingston, of course, not able to be in the field today, but the care camps always living on with us, and we'll get a chance to talk with Howard and the care camps a little bit more at the end of the season. Now let's move into interview with second place fellow Washingtonian Mike West. Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, morning.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Yeah, it's a lot earlier for us out here. So what did you eat for breakfast this morning? And what's the deal with getting all these top finishes? You're looking like a championship contender. Congratulations on second. Oh, you still got me?
Yes, I got you.
Okay. Did you hear my question?
Yes, I did. I just keep running the race. Just keep, hitting my marks every time. Try to fast pits. Just trying to stay out of trouble.
Just trying to stay out of trouble is the main thing. And you did stay out of trouble, and you looked really competitive. In fact, you look like you might even have something to stay up there and be with the leaders all race long today. Was there a secret? I mean, were you adjusting the weight jacker a lot to keep the tires under you? What did you feel was the key moment for you in today's race?
I would say just in the later runs, just running different lines, staying out of everyone's arrow, and just, basic stuff. I didn't touch the weight jacker or anything,
So no touch of the weight jacker today, and yet just watching for that arrow push. As you know, it can be so devastating. We saw a couple of drivers, Iñigo Mardones, Manuel Gomez-Esteban, a couple of other drivers really struggling with that arrow push. How did you feel the pits were today? Because Dan Ensch was talking about the pit in, the pit exit. It's tricky. You could go fast on the flat, but possibly touch the apron. Did you have any trouble with making pits today, or did you feel like you were pretty good in the pits?
I practiced in the 1 hour practice. I practiced my pits. If you pit out, there's a bump down there, you'll lose it. So I just stayed away from it and just kept nice steady gas going in, and coming in, I just, try not to get a speeding penalty.
Of course. Well, and several drivers did. I think your teammate David, did you hear over radio, or do you know, did David get a speeding penalty?
I think he got a black flag for some incidents from someone.
Okay, that's interesting. Yes, and we also saw that Will Stearns got a black flag for passing the inside. Don't know. We didn't catch that one either. But hey, Mike, you're charging up in these points. You're having great finishes here. Fellow Washingtonian, really easy to root for you over there. Got any great plans for the 4th here coming up? You guys going to go watch some fireworks or set some off?
No, we're home. My wife's had some surgery on her foot, so we're just staying home.
Okay. Well, good luck to her and best wishes for her recovery and for you guys to have a nice, safe, fun 4th. And in the meantime, you got a 2nd place, and you get a chance to talk with her about that. Hopefully, you can raise some moods, etc., and have a great rest of your weekend. So, hey, congratulations, Mike. Look forward to seeing you for the rest of the season, and good luck.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's Mike West, 2nd place today in Atlanta. Fantastic job. And now we're going to be able to talk to this guy who I don't know if you have heard of him before, but Graham Bunyan, yeah, he's pretty good. He seems to get it done, and he's joining us now here, VirtualRacing.Network, live post coverage and interviews. Graham, tell us about today's race. You took pole position. You went out there. You had a great first part of the race. And then we get to kind of the end, and you make a very crucial call on that final yellow flag to come in, get those tires. How crucial was it today, and how was the rest of your race? Congratulations.
First of all, what a race by the 102 Mike West. What a race. Well done. Look, man, I said to Mike there, I said, we've got to pit. We've got to pit with, 14 to go or whatever it was. I think it was 13 to go. And I was working out the sums in my head. The lap cars in front of me between Jason and Rick would have got the drop back. So it was going to put us right up behind them. So I was shocked that Jason and Rick didn't pit. But, I mean, that was a gamble that Jason was willing to take. And I mean, he knew what he had in his car and what he had in his car with new tyres. So I don't think I think he may have lost a spot by not taking tyres. But, man, that restart was the hairiest restart I have had for a long time.
Well, let's talk us through it. Let's show it here on the screen. I know you can't see it, but we're going to show it here. So you're starting behind Rick Lovison and Jason Lowe. And what do you think?
Well, I seen Jason go. I seen him twitch. I seen him move. So I thought, yep, I'm going. And I planted my foot, and I nearly went into the back of Rick, and I went lifted. And I thought, okay, we're right to go again. And we're still not going. Like it was just like Jason's car was going in reverse. And it's like, oh, my God. And just the control of the accelerator and the brake, trying not to hit Rick, hoping that he wasn't going to hit Jason, and then hoping I wasn't going to get hit from everybody behind me. And it was a hairy, crazy restart, man. It was out of control.
Well, and then did you see the front wing go flying off of Rick Lovison, and then you have to wonder, are they going to crash and possibly, take you in that incident? So what's going through your mind at that point? Are you saying, I just got to get around these guys as fast as possible, I need to take evasive action? Were you thinking they were going to crash? What went through your mind?
Well, yeah, as soon as I seen all that going on, and I seen the contact, I thought, oh my God, I've got to get away from being up high, because if these two crash, they're both going to go up. So I threw it down to the bottom, hoping that they didn't contact, and they did with the wing. But after that, it was a matter of just getting past Rick, and just momentum to get me past Jason as well. A bit of side-by-side racing there with old tyres and new tyres, but unfortunately around Atlanta, I learnt my lesson a fair few seasons ago by not taking tyres, and I wasn't going to do that again.
Well, and it was such a crucial call, and yet, what do? You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. If you pit and you take tires, Jason Lowe still would have been behind you, so he wouldn't have had that opportunity, but you pitted and chose to take those tires, and obviously knew that would leave Jason and Rick as sitting ducks. No matter whether he stumbled with the start or not, there probably was no way that he could keep ahead of you with that pace difference. But that's what makes it fun, right? That sort of chess match and seeing who can hold on or who can pass who. And indeed, fun side-by-side battling out there on the track. Graham, you've been such a great champion here, but beyond that, and taking today's win, just want to salute you for stepping up and in the midst of some chaos that happened last week here in the league, managing to fix everything, make it even better than it was before, and completely bring us a whole new Discord channel for all of us to do these interviews and all of us to communicate here in the US IndyCar League. Just not only getting it done on the track, but we really greatly appreciate what you do off the track as well for the league. Thank you.
No, it's all good. It's all part of it. I've got to give back to the community, you know. So I was sitting at home with the flu, not doing nothing, so I thought I'd better do something.
Well, and you had the flu. Poor Jason, with his shoulder and various other injuries, he's still probably recovering from the eye surgery, etc. But one final thing I did want to ask you about. Now, on that final restart, Jason missing a shift. Now, this obviously in real life is easy to do, especially in something like, you know, in the old days when you had like a manual shifter, you had to actually shift. But you can still do it accidentally, right? Like you accidentally click twice on your paddle shifter, or you go to click it, you don't quite get it engaged at the right time. And it's just a fraction of a second that you can be wrong. But this is something that happens across iRacing, right? So you've got to be watching if you're in third place, fifth place, for that accordion on the restart where it can get jammed up. And then also if the leader possibly misses a shift and stacks up the rest of the field. This is something that happens that you really have to be aware of on starts, right?
Oh, for sure. And if anything else, it's also people starting in the wrong fuel map as well. A lot of people forget to change their fuel map back from 8 to 1. So yeah, it's not hard to go flicking through the gears. I've done it myself. You go from first to second, and then you give that nervous quick flick again, and you all of a sudden you're in third, and it's like, huh? I don't want to be here. So yeah, you know, with the fixed season that's out there as well, with them bringing in that you can adjust your fuel and a few other things, it's brought another element into the racing on the fixed side of things. I mean, I use it all the time on the open side, but a lot of these people never experience the fuel or the weight jacker or the ARBs or anything like that. So it's been a good thing, and it makes you more alert, hopefully.
Absolutely. And that's just it. I mean, when you think it's status quo and you think everything's just going to go to plan, that's when something goes wrong, and got to keep your head on a swivel. Just like you coming through, you had to be aware of that restart, not only of what was happening directly in front of you, but where you wanted to put your car in relation to the two in front of you. And you could have gotten it wrong and slammed into them. They could have kept going, etc. And that could have been the end of your race, but it wasn't. You won, even with the flu. Congratulations, Graham. We run out of superlatives for you, but the cream certainly does rise to the top, and you show it here every week. Congratulations. You'll move on and probably take second here in the points, and be looking at maybe a fifth straight championship, but long ways to go, right?
You never know. I won't let it go away easy. But look, I just want to thank Dave for this setup. Atlanta's a hard track to actually try and make a good setup for, and with the thousands of laps that he puts in, and it's just hats off to him for doing it. I couldn't do it. I'd be crashing into the wall to try and make something exciting for myself, but he does it week in, week out, doing all these laps and continuously does it for the league. So I just want to thank him for that, and I want to thank my teammate there, the 102 of Mike, for giving me all the fuel numbers when I'm not about. I only turned up a couple of minutes before the race here. I was racing back from home, and everybody's texting me, "Where are you? Where are you?" So yeah, so kudos to them all.
Well, thank you once again, Graham, for being a great part of this show, and you put on a heck of a performance today. Winning here, round number 5, and just a few more races to go to find out who will be crowned champion, but a long ways. Good luck with the rest of your season, bud.
No worries, thank you, and congrats to Jason on his third there, and Dan, ALZ.org. Don't feel safe, man. Don't feel safe. Well done. And MJ there for the top 5. Well done.
Absolutely. So that's Graham Bunyan checking in with us at the end of the race, giving us his thoughts. We always appreciate it. And, of course, giving shout-outs where they are appropriate. So let's go ahead and take a look one final time. You can see our upcoming schedule here. Make sure to tune in here so we get our music back to where it should be. I don't like it when it goes away.
Don't mind him, fellas. He's been drinking.
I've been drinking Perrier Energize, caffeine, and yerba mate, so I'm maybe a little too over-caffeinated. Anyway, that's what we've got left. Auto Club Speedway, very different than today. Texas, Watkins Glen, a road course, New Hampshire, Phoenix, MIS, and then to the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If you've enjoyed today's race, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button for more. And on behalf of all the competitors and the admins here, as well as VirtualRacing.Network, it's been a production of VirtualRacing.Network. All rights are reserved. Please don't copy it or transmit it without our permission. And we will see you next week, same time, same channel, from Auto Club Speedway. Until then, have a great 4th of July. If you're in the U.S. and everywhere else, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.